right, guys. Great. So just to repeat, for those of you that signed in after I said it, or if you didn't see the message this morning, you need a strap for a little bit later. Put it off to the side. And good morning, everyone. Well done for getting onto your mat today. There are a few of you here that I haven't seen for a while, so good job, guys. I know that I find it difficult to get onto my mat, and particularly in winter. And practicing at home is one of the most difficult things that you can do. Um, so every time you guys are here, I'm very impressed that you made it. Okay, so just every day you do get to your mat, just give yourself a tap on the back because it is not an easy thing to do to practice at home. To get to go somewhere and there's no distractions, much easier. Okay, so we're going to start on shins this morning, toes together, knees open to the edges of the mat. You walk your arms forward, sink your forehead down. If the shoulders are tight and sore, sink your elbows and take a few deep breaths in through the nose, gently sighing out through your mouth. Softening into the armpits, softening into your face. Our focus this morning is hip opening, so stretching out all the muscles and connective tissue associated with the hip joints. So that's all four sides of your legs, your back, your hip flexor muscles in your groins and the lower pelvis. Obviously, your upper body will get what it always gets, but our particular focus is hip joint tension release. Now, taking your hands as wide as your shoulders, stretch the elbows straight now, and we're going to pulse with an inhale, come up, shoulders over wrists. As you breathe out, lengthen the hips back, stretch out the spine, and keep pulsing in your own time. As you do this, feel your feet pressing down into the floor. Let them be nice and heavy, but keep the soles of the feet and the toes soft. Breathing in to lift, breathing out to sit back. And next time you sit to your heels, we'll stay there again. Walking your hands to the left side of your mat or off the left side of the mat. Sink the forehead again. Fully relax your throat and the back of your neck. And then keep reaching the arms forward as you walk your hands off to the other side of your mat. Dropping down into the forehead, softening into your eyelids. And once more, walking your hands forwards. And making your way up onto hands and knees. We take our cats and our cows. You know what to do. Deepen the breath and roll your spine. And now next time you roll up into your cat stretch, we hold it there. You're looking back towards your legs or towards your tummy or even your chest. So really stretching up with the back. And like you did before, we're going to pulse backwards and forwards, but don't take the hips all the way to the heels. Keeping that rounded spine. Keep looking back towards your body to increase the roundedness of your back. And press all 10 fingertips flat into the mat. Now next time you come forward, so we're coming into flat spine. Bring your knees together. Keep your hands under your shoulders. And we're going to roll the hips from side to side. So get into that ITB on the outer thigh and the TFL, your tensor fasciae lata, at the top of the outer hip. So ITB is there, and then the TFL is just on the outside of the hip. And that TFL area tends to get really tight, guys, because its sole purpose is to stabilize your pelvis as you walk. So it never ever stops working through your day. Every little roll and twist of the pelvic girdle, those little muscles contract. So they work very hard for us, but they're incredibly difficult to stretch out. Just keep rolling. And then we're going to come back to center. And once more, toes together, knees wide, like when you started. Reach the arms forward and you're moving into your twist. Taking the right arm under your chest, right shoulder and right ear to the floor. Stretching the left arm forwards over your head. Fully sink down into that right side body and relax your neck. Keep your nice, long, deep breaths going. And then reaching your right arm forwards. And we change. Take the left arm under. Turn your face to the other side of your mat. And melt down fully into that left shoulder, left waist, left hip. Just check that your feet and your toes are relaxed. And reaching both arms over your head again, forward to the ground. And from here, we're going to come back up onto all fours. Keeping your left hand on the ground, and if you need to, you take that hand slightly wider than your left shoulder. Lift your right arm up. And if that's uncomfortable for you, you can keep right hand on your right hip or on the sacrum. Now look down to the top of your left hand. So we're not looking up, we're looking down. Lift your right shoulder, your right elbow, or your right arm up nice and high. And it's fine here if you lean a little bit towards that left side of your mat. You don't have to have shoulder directly over the wrist, but do have all 5 fingers flat on the ground. And we're bringing right hand down, round about under shoulder, and take the twist to the other side. Left arm up or left hand on hip. And it might be different on each side. That's fine. Again, your hips might lean a bit to the left or the right, or your shoulders or chest might lean a bit back off the line of that right shoulder. That's okay. So off the right wrist, sorry, and that's okay. But keep breathing, and you're looking down. Don't look up. Okay, bringing left hand down, palms flat on the ground. We're going to take some shoulder rolls here, so elbows bend, spine stays relatively flat, or in a little bit of an arch is okay. Again, all 10 fingers flat on the mat, don't lift your thumbs. And as the elbows bend, they point back towards your heels, not out towards the sides. Change and roll in the other direction. Okay, if you can't get circles or rolls, it's fine. We just want a little bit of movement and mobility in the upper back and that general shoulder area. And then back into straight arms. We're going to bring shins and knees together. Sit back to your heels. Slide your hips off to the right, feet off to the left, and open your knees up so that your legs are in a V shape. Take those knees wider than hips. Lift your chest. Try and point your left toes back rather than out to the side of the mat, and take a twist. So you're turning away from your feet towards the right. Feet are off to the left. And lean back towards your spine. So if you don't have the top of your head over your pelvis, that's fine, but we don't want it forward. We want it back. And you can hold on to the right thigh with your hand or turn the palm away from you. And now keeping your height in your spine, turn your chest forward. But take the legs out in front of you and then swing your feet around to the other side. Now open those knees wide again so the legs are in a V shape, not pointing straight forward. Point the right toes back and twist to the opposite side. And so once more, you lean towards your spine. Tightness in the hips and the lower back and in the thighs will make you want to lean forwards towards that left leg. Shift your weight back, even if it feels like you're going to kind of tip over slightly. Then stabilize with the left hand. Keep lifting your chest high. And now we're going to untwist and bring your legs out in front of you. We're going to bend the knees, lean back onto your palms behind you, and turn your fingers away from your body. Take your feet as wide as your mat or wider, and have the knees in that V shape. Don't have your heels under your knees. So feet are forwards in front of the line of the knees. And let's windscreen, wiper, the knees left to right, shins left to right. Keep your bum on the floor, guys. Keep lifting your chest. Take the shoulders all the way back and feel your breath moving with the breathing. Okay, now next time you lift your knees up to center, keep them there. Again, feet are wider than hips. Now keep your left knee pointing straight up. Don't tilt that out. And we're going to twist the right knee in. Now you can walk, you can either lean back onto hands or you can walk up. And if you want a little bit more, keep that right thumb on the floor. Don't lift it. You can very gently push down with the right hand on that right thigh. Just very gently if you want to do that. Keep shoulders back. Nice. Lifting the right knee up. And then keep that right knee pointing straight up. Don't lean it out. Let the left knee turn in. Again, if you want to, you can very gently press onto that outer left thigh or knee with a hand, but don't lift your bum. And we're lifting up. Feet together in Baddha Konasana. Hold your ankles, not your toes, and take a few bounces of the knees. Keep the chest up high. Arms forward, holding onto your ankles will bring the shoulders forward. So keep trying to take shoulders to spine. Okay, now we're going to let those knees drop. Lift your chest a little bit higher. And from here, opening out into wide legs. Heels down, toes straight up, ankles flexed. On an exhale, twist to the right. So left hand can be on the ground or hooking over the right leg. Guys, we're going to do a twist and a reach 3 times. Then we're going to change sides. Okay, so don't change sides for the twist. Twist to the side 3 times. Turning forward, tip onto left hand behind the line of your left leg. Reach your right arm up and over. As the arm goes up, hip and right thigh go down. Keep stretching your heels away from you and lifting toes up. And again, coming up, same twist to the right. This is number 2. Lift your heart as you breathe in. And circling forward, tip onto left hand, second time, reach the right arm up and over. Just check in with the tops of your shoulders. Don't scrunch them up into your ears or your neck. Keep the shoulders down. And coming up, one more twist to the right. Lift up tall out of your lower back. Keep trying to lift your back ribs up away from the ground. And then one more time, circling forwards, tip onto left hand, right arm reaches over. Super heavy in the right hip and the right bum and the thigh. Lengthen through the top of your head to your fingertips. Good, guys. Coming up. And now we twist around to the other side, turning to the left, right hand forward or right hand over the left leg. Still keeping back up tall and straight. And then circling forwards, tip onto right hand, stretch the left arm over, and sink the left thigh. Sink that left waist and hip down deep. Coming up, we twist around to the left for the second time. Each time you breathe in, lift your sternum, lift your chest. Each time you breathe out, keep that lift. Untwisting, tip over onto right hand and take the left arm over. Nice, gentle breath. And our last twist coming up. Circle it around. Twisting forwards, lean over onto right hand and float the left arm over. Check in with the neck again, check in with your head. Don't drop your ear to your right shoulder. Stretch the neck long. And then coming up to center. Guys, we're making our way onto hands and knees, all fours, hips over knees. Slide your arms forward, baby down dog. Holding your puppy pose. Each exhale melting into the forehead. And now walking up onto your palms. You make your way up into your full downward facing dog. From down dog, stepping feet to the top of the mat. Feet are parallel, big toes slightly turned in. Hang down nice and deep. If you need to, you bend those knees, but keep leaning into fronts of shins and ankles. Fully relax the back and sides of your neck, hanging the head down nice and heavy. And now with the breath, we're going to rise and fall, circling arms out to the side. On your inhale, reach the arms wide and up. As you exhale, bring hands to chest. As you breathe in, reach up again. On your exhale, circle and fold down. As you breathe in, half lift, hands to shins or knees. As you exhale, sink down deep. Floating up on an in-breath. Exhaling, hands to chest. Keep going in your own time. Inhale to float up, exhale to fold. And when you come up halfway, we want to get the spine parallel to the floor. So don't make that a little lift. It's quite a high lift halfway. Keep going. And that half lift has a very particular effect on your nervous system. That pulsing up and down is incredibly calming and releasing for the nervous system. So each time you sink, you really melt down into your front body, a full release. Now we float up and down one more time. And next time you come to that half lift, we're going to hold it. Once you're holding that half lift, tip forwards even more into your toes so that you feel your toes squeeze hard into the mat to stop you from falling onto your face, and lengthen the top of the head forward. You might even have a very slight lift in your heels, and that's okay. Keep squeezing your belly up tight. Keep breathing. Good, guys. Hands to the ground, back into your downwards facing dog. We take a Surya Namaskar, coming forwards on an inhale. Lower yourself down as you breathe out. On the in-breath, lift your chest. And on your exhale, push back to downwards dog. Hold your down dog. All right, so those of you that were here yesterday, I was encouraging you to have a look at that little shoulder alignment video that I posted. Nice and short, just 6 minutes. So please remember the alignment of the shoulders. If you haven't had a look at that little clip, please go and check it out. so that you can make sure that you are doing the correct shoulder alignment every time you practice. Taking feet forwards to hands, standing forward bend, sink deep as you breathe out. And on an inhale, we're coming all the way up. Big wide circle over your head. Exhaling, hands to chest. As you breathe in, reach up again. On the exhale, fold down. Half lift, lengthen with the chest, and take yourself back to your down dog again. We keep moving. On the inhale, flowing forwards. On your exhale, taking yourself down. Don't let those shoulders dip. Curling up on an inhale, and then pressing back and holding your down dog. So we let the head feel heavy, but don't tuck your chin to your throat here. Your ears are on the level of your upper arms. And you keep stretching the sides of the neck and the top of your head forwards towards your hands. Now taking feet forward, standing forward bend at the top of the mat again. And on an in-breath, we'll rise. Long stretch through the elbows as you lift. Exhaling, hands to heart. Straight back up with your next in-breath. We're moving into our standing poses. Exhale to fold. After you lengthen, we're stepping right leg back into a lunge. So we're coming to warrior one lunge. Arms up alongside your head. Check your alignment. Get that left heel directly under your left knee, guys. And square off in the hips. So draw your left thigh back. Roll the right hip forward. Pelvis nice and square to the front of the mat. Try to lock your back knee straight. Don't bend the right knee behind you if possible. And now we're moving into Parsvottanasana. Drop your hands either side your left foot. Turn your right heel in and down behind you to a 45-degree angle and straighten your front knee. If you can't get the front knee straight, right foot slides closer towards your right hand. If you want to work the release in the hips and the thighs a little bit more, slide the right foot further back towards the back of your mat. Keep squaring in the pelvis, just like in your lunge. So left hip rolls back, right hip rolls forward, and don't let that right heel lift. But do lift the inner ankle of your right foot. Don't sink that down. Okay, squeeze your tummy tight with your next exhale, and then step the right foot forwards, and take your left leg back into your lunge on the other side. Right knee over your right heel, and when you're ready, lifting up, arms alongside your ears. Back heel up nice and high, over the toes, back knee up nice and high and straight as well. And then withdraw that right thigh back, right hip back, roll the left hip forwards. Okay, Parsvottanasana coming up, hands to the mat, either side your front foot. Turn the back heel in and down and stretch your front knee straight. So again, you make your adjustments with that back foot, whether it's got to come forwards or it's going further back or staying where it is. But adjust to get the front knee straight and the back heel on the ground. Make sure that back heel is not behind the toes. It's turned in. You should be able to see the inner heel and the inner ankle. And lift the arch of that left foot up nice and high. We're trying to get the weight of that back leg onto the outer edge of the left foot. And now turning onto back toes, step forwards. We're coming to a standing forward bend. You're going to stay here for your few breaths. Hang your head again, relax your neck. You only look at the floor if standing forward bends make you feel dizzy. Otherwise, it's top of the head hanging down, nose pointing towards the back of your mat. Relax your shoulders. And if you can, you tip those hips a little bit more towards the front of your mat over your head. Okay, now we're going to float up to standing. We're going to come into an eagle pose. So rise on an inhale and release arms down. Okay, so eagle is not just good for strengthening, it's also good, well, strengthening because it's a balance pose. It's also good for releasing outer hip tension. So hands on hips, feet parallel to start. We bend into the knees. We'll take right leg over the left leg. If you want to, you tuck your toes if that's comfortable. And now make sure you haven't twisted your pelvis off to the left. Point your knees straight forwards. Pull the shoulders back. And then sit your bum a little bit lower. You keep hands on hips or bring hands to chest. And if you're bringing hands to chest, lift your elbows in line with your wrists. We're not doing the eagle arms. We're just focusing on the legs here. So if you really want to get into that hip opening, as I said, we're making this a hip opening pose, then you've got to bend deep into that left knee and get your bum down low as if you're trying to sit on a chair. Well done, guys. Coming up to standing, release, kick it out, roll the hips, wiggle it, do whatever you need to. Okay, and then it's feet parallel again, toes point straight forward, hands on hips, shoulders to spine, bend the knees first, so we get into that bend in the standing leg, cross the left leg up and over. And again, maybe tucking toes or not. Once you've got that, square your hips. Right? Taking the leg over will make your hips twist in the direction of the top knee. So turn your chest so your chest is straight forwards. Maybe hands to heart. Good, Roz. Sitting down nice and deep. So try and sink the hips a little bit more. Good, guys. We're strengthening and opening and releasing at the same time. And this is a long hold for an eagle, guys. So quite normal to wobble around. Well done. Coming up to standing. And again, kick out. Do what you need to release. And then we're going to turn to face the long side of your mat. Step your legs out into a V shape. And we're going into two of our most effective poses for outer hip release, which is our triangle and our side angle pose. So left toes, point open to the short end of your mat. Inhale, arms wide, pull shoulders to spine. And on an exhale, fold it over, either hand to shin or hand to ankle, or fingertips on the inside of your left foot, or palm flat on the ground. Right arm straight up. Lean to your spine. And now focus on that front leg, the left knee. Twist your left knee in the direction of your left baby toe. And with an in-breath, coming all the way up, either arms stay wide or hands to hips. Turn the left toes to the long edge of your mat. Turn your right toes to the other short end of your mat. And let the pelvis twist to the right. Breathe the arms wide. And on your exhale, fold over. Lean towards your spine. Okay, so what you're doing with your knees in your triangle is really important because that directly affects the release in the hip joint. So make sure you're twisting your right knee towards your right baby toe, not in towards the big toe side of your foot. And that's if you do that action, you feel a very small movement, but it has a very big effect. Good, guys. We're going to come up, turn your feet parallel. We're going to Prasarita Padasvanasana. Hands on hips, shoulders to spine, wide leg forward fold. On your exhale, bowing down. Either dropping hands to the ground, then your hands are as wide as your shoulders or wider, or just hanging your arms or holding onto the legs. Good. So we press out with the inner calves, press out with your inner knees, and press out with the inner thighs. Keep the legs strong. So we're widening the leg bones to create a release in the pelvis. Because your pelvic girdle is not a fused bone. Like we think of it as one solid bone, but it's not. There are a whole lot of joints and facet connections that you can actually release into if you're widening in the legs. From here, either rolling yourself all the way up or coming up with flat spine. And now we're going to our side angle pose, turning left toes to the short end of your mat again. We're going to bend into warrior two legs and then just check that your left knee is over your heel. So sometimes to do that, you've got to lean all the way forward to be able to see if the knee is over the heel. Because if you're up here, you look down, you can't really see if the knee is over the heel. You've got to get an angle from the side if you're unsure. All right, onto left elbow on thigh or left fingertips down to the ground, reaching your right arm either straight up over the shoulder like your triangle or full side angle with arm over your head to get into the outer right hip. So you can notice the difference there. If your arm is straight up like a triangle and you take your arm over your head, suddenly there's this stretch over the outer hip and thigh. And as I said when we were seated earlier, that ITB and the TFL over the outer hip, very difficult to stretch out. This is one of the poses that does that. It doesn't do it in a strong stretch. It does in a very gentle stretch. But that's why we've got to hold a little bit longer. Really get the full effect. And we're coming all the way up to center. Turn your left toes to the long edge of the mat. Turn the right toes to the short edge of the mat. Heels are lined up with each other. Into our warrior two legs first. So right knee bends. And again, just check that alignment. Right knee is over the right heel. If you need to, you lean all the way forwards to check that out because I'm not there to do it for you. And it's really difficult sometimes to see that in these little camera angles. Okay, right elbow to thigh or fingertips to the ground. Left arm all the way up into triangle shape arms or arm over your ear. Each time you breathe in, stretch the top of your head towards your fingers if your arm is over your head. Otherwise, it's just lengthening the top of the head away from your tailbone. On an in-breath, way to come all the way up to center. Turn your right toes in again, and then heel toe or hop feet to the midline. Great, guys. We're coming back up to the top of your mat. feet parallel to each other. Get a little bit deeper into that hip release. With an inhale, float arms up. On your exhale, forward fold. After you half lift, we're taking the right leg back, low lunge, right knee to the ground. Lifting your chest, arms back behind you. Okay, so just like your high lunge, we want to draw the left thigh bone back into the hip joint, create stability on that left side of the pelvis, and roll the right hip forwards, squaring off in the hips. The more you can square off in your hips, the better release you will get in your back. Okay, now from here we're going to go into a high lizard, and then we're going to take hands out to the side. I'm going to turn around so that you can see that more easily if you need to. Okay, so from here, hands to the inside of your foot, and then take that foot a little bit wider, and tuck the back toes and lift the back knee up. Okay, so right knee off the ground, left foot wider than the left shoulder. Walk your hands towards the right side of your mat. Now look at your right heel, twist that right heel to point straight up. Make sure your right knee points straight down and don't let that change. We want a strong internal rotation in the right thigh. And if your knee twists out and your heel twists in, you lose that. Now check the left knee and keep your left knee over your heel. If it doesn't want to stay there, you push back with the left hand onto that left leg. If you want to go deeper here, you're going to slide your hands out towards the side of your mat. Sliding the hands out will make that left knee want to lean in. Don't let that happen. It will also make the right heel want to twist in. Don't let that happen either. Walking your hands back to the inside of your foot and then stepping up to the top of your mat. So we're taking our low lunge, left leg back, knee to the ground, right heel under your right knee, lift your chest, reach back, find your hands behind you, and open the chest and the collarbones. Once you've got that bind, feel what's going on in the pelvis. Pull the right thigh bone back into the hip joint. Sometimes you do that and it actually lifts the pelvis slightly, then you know you're getting that action. Roll the left hip forwards. From here, we're going into our high lizard. So release the hands to the inside of the right foot. Don't keep the right foot there. Take it a little bit wider than your right shoulder. Back toes tuck, back knee lifts. Lock the back knee and walk your hands to the left side of your mat. Guys, be super precise with your alignment here. Don't let that left knee twist to the left. Don't let your heel turn in towards the midline of your mat. And then check the right knee. If you need to, you push that right leg back with your right hand. Maybe going a little bit deeper and sliding the palms out towards the left side of the mat further. Then check that back leg. Be super aligned. Keep breathing. And now we're walking hands forwards. Stepping left foot to the outside of your left hand. Let the toes turn out. We're coming into a squat. Brilliant, guys. Hold it there. Okay, that's really good, Stace. Your ankles are beautifully aligned. Okay, standing forward bend, turn your feet parallel, swing your arms back behind you, interlace your fingers like you did in your low lunge, or clasp your hands shut. Hang the head, fully relax the back of your neck, and then release your arms. We're going into a second squat. Make sure those heels are on the ground. Press the knees wide and lift the chest high. One more time, standing forward bend, turn the feet parallel, take your arms back behind you, drop the top of the head down. Fully relax your face and all four sides of your neck. And staying in the forward bend, drop your arms down and make your way back into down dog again. Stepping your feet in to touch each other in your down dog so you get that extra stretch in the back of the ankle and the calf and the heel. All 10 fingers flat down, heavy on the ground. And then dropping down onto your knees. Now we're going to bring knees hip distance apart. We're going to take our half baby down dog. So we step the right leg out to the side. Turn your foot so your toes point in the same direction as your chest, not out to the side. And check that your left hip is straight up over your knee. And from there, dropping down onto your hands. Once you're on your hands, again, check that that left thigh bone is directly under the knee. And from there, slide the arms forward. Sink your forehead down. If you need to, drop the forearms or the elbows. Check that you're not sitting slightly back with the left thigh towards your calf or your heel. And keep pushing up with the inner right ankle away from the mat. The inner right knee lifts as well. Great, guys. Walking onto hands. Once your arms are under your shoulders, you can bring that right knee down and change and take the left leg out to the side. Line the heel up with your right knee. Don't have it further back. And then checking right hip alignment of the right knee. Then slide those arms forward again. As you drop your head, you're looking back towards the right leg and checking the alignment that you're not leaning to the inner right thigh. Fully relax your eyes, cheeks, your mouth. Don't clench the teeth. Relax the jaw. And now walking up onto your hands and bring the left knee to the mat. So knees together, feet together, full child's pose. If you can't do full child's pose, lie flat on your stomach, arms down your sides, curl yourself over your thighs. Don't worry if your thumb doesn't touch the heels. Sealing off your whole energy body, sealing off your whole sensory body so you can fully draw inwards, just being silent with yourself. And now, excuse me, and now uncurling. And we're going to go sideways on the mat again. Same as you did before, stepping your right leg out to the side. Same foot, toes pointing in the direction of your chest. But this time we're dropping over down the length of the mat onto your left hand. Now make sure that your left hand has the middle finger pointing straight to the back of the mat. Don't turn your wrist in or out. And let's take some shoulder rolls. Just circle that right arm all the way around. Moving with your breath. Inhale to sweep up. Exhale to circle over. Roz, is your left hand under your shoulder? You're just at an odd angle, so I can't really see there. Yeah, I think that's a bit better. Yes, good. And now same arm, circle around in the opposite direction. Full deep breaths. And now, like you did in your side angle pose, we'll hold that arm over your head, or maybe the arm is lifted a bit higher. That's okay. If you can, you try and take your upper arm over your ear, and maybe you'll start again to feel that stretch on the outer hip a little bit more. Good. Now it'll roll forwards or lift up to center, and we take it to the other side. Stepping the left leg out, make sure the right thigh is over your knee. Turn your left foot like warrior two and drop over onto your right hand. So make sure that that right hand is under the shoulder or further forwards to the top of the mat. Don't have your hand back towards your knee. And then go for it, circling the left arm with the breath. Keep both shoulders moving back away from your chest. And change and circle in the opposite direction. One more full circle all the way around. And next time your arm is over your head, we hold it there. Full side body stretch. Lengthen through both sides of the neck. Don't drop your head down towards the bottom arm. And then rolling down. Guys, you're going to make your way into your down dog again. And we're going to take our half pigeon. So if anyone has knee issues, don't do half pigeon. Lie down onto your back and I'll show you what to do. Okay, so from down dog, taking right knee forwards to touch the back of your right wrist, heel under the left hip. When you're down and you drop that left knee, make sure your back leg is not a little bit out to the side. That's kind of exaggeration, but sometimes it's just a little bit out to the side. Make sure that it's straight back behind the hip. Then take yourself down. Okay, if you've got knee issues, you're on your back, and then you bend your knees and you bring right ankle to left thigh and hold onto the left leg. So people with knee issues, I've seen this so many times over the years. You just never, ever, ever do pigeon. Never do, ever do half pigeon. And don't think that you will ever be able to do it. Just forget about half pigeon. Then you always do this. And walking up onto your hands. If you're lying on your back, you stay on your back. If you're in half pigeon, you walk to hands and make your way back to downwards dog. And change over to the other side when you're ready. So left knee to left wrist, heel under right hip. Check that the right leg points straight back. Bring the foot in a little bit if you need to. Don't let that foot turn in. If you're lying on your back, you change sides, left ankle onto right thigh, holding onto the right leg. Soften down into the front of your body with your breath. Carefully coming up onto hands. If you're lying on your back, release yourself out. We're going back into down dog. And from down dog, we're going to come down to sitting and opening the legs out wide into a V. We're going to come into our Upavishtajana Shashasana. So we bring left foot to inside of the right thigh. Turn your right toes up. Let the inner right calf and inner right thigh sink down. Drop that left knee down nice and heavy. Lift your chest up high before you fold. Stretch the chest forwards as you do fold down. And I want you to feel for the inner thighs. So here, even though you're stretching into that right heel from the knee down, from the inner thigh, you're actually drawing the inner thighs back towards your groins. So we want the groins to melt in and back. As you extend that right leg forwards, you're drawing up from the knee in the opposite direction. And that also happens on the left leg, oddly, even though it's in this weird contraction. Good, guys. Coming up, left leg open and bringing the right foot in. Check the alignment of the left foot. Second toe from the big toe points straight up. Inner calf sinks down, inner thigh sinks down. Heavy on the right knee, and then tip yourself forwards when you're ready. Don't lift your bum. Keep the sits bones on the ground. And then feel for that lengthening up from the inner knee, drawing the groins in. And once more, that's a very small movement, but if you feel those groins just shift a millimeter into the pelvis or back, you'll actually feel quite a deep release in your lower back. Keep softening chest, keep softening shoulders. Coming all the way up, open the right leg, full Upavishta Konasana. You guys know this is my favorite pose. Got to throw it in wherever I can. You're reaching for your legs or hands forward. Don't look back at your chest. Look towards your hands if the hands are forward, or just look out in front of your body if you're holding onto your legs. And now coming all the way up and into our Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. And tip yourself forwards. Sink the toes down. Let those toes relax. And now coming up, and we're going into our diamond fold. So slide the feet a whole lot further forward. Get the diamond shape in the thighs and the legs, and then fold down again. Sometimes you have to shift out side to side a little bit to release those outer hips, then do so. And rolling up. One more forward fold before we go on to backs. Both legs straight. Paschimottanasana. Glue the big toes together. Draw the baby toe side of the foot back. And stretch your chest towards your shins. Don't look back at your chest. Look forward. Unless you're all the way down, then you're going to be looking at the tops of the shins. And never look back at your chest in your forward folds, that is. Okay, now we're coming up, and you're going to make your way onto your back. You need your strap or your belt. And once you're down on your back, you're going to lie down with legs straight, feet touching each other. And we'll start with the right leg, taking your strap over your right foot. Don't go over the arch of the foot. So you go just below the toes, or you can even go over the heel if you want to, if you know that version. And we're just kicking straight up. Now, if you're feeling a lot of tension in that right leg, the back of the leg, you can always bend and straighten. Use that little trick that helps to release the calf muscles and the thigh muscles. Or you just kick into the heel with bent or straight knee. But sink your shoulders, sink the upper arms, and stretch into your left heel. Now walking your right hand up and holding the two sides of the strap with your right hand. Don't let your left bum come off the ground. We're opening the left leg out to the side. So don't go too low with that leg. Keep the left bum down. Keep trying to touch the back of your left thigh to the floor. And I'm trusting you to work the alignment here, guys, not injure your lower back. Keep flexing the foot that's on the ground, toes straight up to the roof. Left shoulder and shoulder blade flat on the mat. And now lifting your right leg up. We're keeping the right leg up. Reach up with your left hand to hold the strap. Drop the right arm to the floor. You can turn that right palm up with the elbow bent and take your twist right leg over your body. Okay, so that right leg can go as far over as you want. Excuse me. As far over as you want it to go, so long as right shoulder is still on the mat. Flop the left foot down, left baby toe can sink to the ground. Now lifting your right leg up, take the strap off, right leg to the floor, get your feet to touch each other, then lift the left leg up. If you did it on the other side, then you can bend and straighten in the knee if you want to. Don't let the shoulders tighten and don't let your neck tighten because your arms are lifted. Just relax those places, maybe just stretching into the heel with knee bent or straight. Check in with your right leg. Make sure your foot hasn't flopped over to the side. Right toes point straight up with the foot flexed. Right knee points straight up as well. Breathe the shoulders soft. Now reaching up with your left hand. Hold on to straps. Drop the right arm to the ground. You can turn your palm to face up with the elbow bent as you open that leg out to the side. And be really sensitive and aware of what's going on with the right hip. Flatten your right butt into the ground. Don't let it lift, not even just a little bit. Notice your breathing. And now lifting that leg up. Reach up with your right hand for the twist. Drop the left arm to the floor. You can bend the elbow and turn the palm up as your leg goes over your body. Once more, your leg can go as far over as you want it to go, but don't lift the left shoulder blade. Keep your back flat on the floor in your upper back. Right foot can flop. And now bringing your leg up to center. Take the strap off. And we're hugging knees to chest. Either just squeezing in or rocking side to side. Or if you want to take your happy baby, lift those heels, hold the feet or ankles or calves. And maybe rocking in your happy baby or not. And then we're going to center. And we're going straight into our relaxation. So sliding the legs out. Get yourself comfortable, get yourself warm. Feel the heaviness of your exhales and allow your whole body to fully release into those out breaths. Dropping down deeper and deeper into the back of your head, upper back, middle back, and lower back. Heavy in the arms and heavy in the legs. Feel all the muscles in your whole face fully release. And now breathing down into your hands and your feet. Start to wake up your fingers and your toes. circling into wrists and ankles. Gently rolling your head side to side. Taking in a nice full deep inhale, stretch yourself. Once more bring knees to chest. Or making whatever movements feel good to you right now. Carefully making your way up to sitting. May our minds be open to the divine light that guides us. May our hearts be open to the divine love that surrounds us. May the angels keep us and bless us and bring us joy. Namaste, everyone. And good job for doing your yoga.